as we talk Clyde Edwards-Helaire back on a one-year deal for Kansas City, who has shown, hey, look, we'll draft a guy late in Pacheco. We'll draft a guy early in Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We'll share that backfield. Decent move for Kansas City here, bringing back Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, I mean, familiar. Obviously there's a comfort level there with Patrick Mahomes. They were never going to be a dominant, a featured back dominant offense with Patrick Mahomes. And so listen, the running back market is what it is when you have one of the guys, one of the greatest here in Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. You probably want to stay and hang around if winning championships is what you want to do. And that's exactly what he wants to do here, Helaire, too, signing for a one-year deal. It works for everybody. I think it's a win-win type of situation. And we mentioned it, yesterday, right? It's a win-win for Carson Wentz as well, signing on here. You don't have to worry about doing a whole lot except holding on to a clipboard on the sideline there. So these kinds of signings make sense for the guys who are there now.
Maybe the biggest move of the offseason, Joe, that could tilt the balance of power in the NFL, Carson Wentz backing up Patrick Mahomes. If Mahomes goes down, come on, man, not even going to miss a beat with my guy Carson Wentz back there pulling the trigger. If we take a look at the Kansas City Chiefs odds on the 2024-2025 season, team win total, 11.5. You could probably pencil that in. You just tell me before the season, hey, Donnie, I don't care what happens on that team, but Patrick Mahomes is going to play the whole season. Cash that ticket for 11.5. Same thing, the division, minus 220. Good luck beating the Kansas City Chiefs. The conference, plus 350 price, and also the Super Bowl at a plus 650 price. Let me ask you this question here before we move on and take a look at a couple other options here in the NFL. Rashee Rice's situation. He's probably going to get suspended, and that's even if he's lucky at this point. The one thing we all agreed upon last year was you better get the Chiefs this year because they're going to get that wide receiver position figured out. Now, if Rashee Rice has any chance of being suspended next year on an already weak wide receiving core, that probably changes things in the draft and or maybe making a trade for a wide receiver now for the Kansas City Chiefs. What do you think on that situation?
He is cooperating with the Dallas police there, and the NFL says they're monitoring the situation as usual. But, it sounds as if he's in hot water here. So which isn't great for Kansas City. But if you're going to have something like this happen, now's the time to do it, right? You're a couple of weeks out from the draft. You can maneuver a few things to go out there and get some receivers. And don't forget, Donnie, we say it all the time. The wide receiver doesn't make the quarterback. The quarterback makes the wide receiver. So whoever will be catching passes from Patrick Mahomes will be just fine in place of Rashee Rice.
Just a wild scene overall, too, because we saw the video footage of the crash. Then later on, we saw people actually stopped on the highway outside their car with their phones, just filming the players, or should I say, at least Rashee Rice and his friends walking by I guess you're just going to leave the accident right now, to the whole, you know what, couldn't find me for 24 hours, contacted look, we're cooperating with, you didn't cooperate at all, leaving the scene of the accident. So we'll see it play out. We'll see what the NFL does, because keep in mind, the NFL doesn't have to wait for actual remedies from the court system. They can advance their own pain on Rashee Rice if they feel the need to do so. So certainly something to keep an eye on. But another thing to keep an eye on, Iowa defensive back Cooper DeJean going into the NFL, finally healthy off that broken leg. Could he be a first-round pick here coming up in the draft shortly?
Maybe. It sounds like doesn't it sound like every forecast here for this draft has 10 quarterbacks going in the first round here? And how many quarterbacks are there, Donnie, coming into this class? I mean, we're talking about everyone seems to think that there's going to be this major run in the first round here on quarterbacks. Were there that many good quarterbacks that I missed here, Donnie?
I don't know. Cornerbacks running wild out there on the scene. It'll be interesting to see where he does go, because we always know that cornerbacks and quarterbacks always get drafted a little bit higher than they're supposed to because of the premium of the position, and you don't want to miss out, which brings us into JJ McCarthy. During the college football season, we knew JJ McCarthy is a good quarterback, but he's with Michigan. They don't ask him to do all that much, the consummate leader, and can he be a great pro? So usually we're saying, can he be that late first-round pick, and who would pick him? And then all of a sudden, once the season got over with, Word got out that JJ McCarthy is the new it quarterback in the draft, and could he actually slide all the way up to number 2? Now, it looks like that's probably not going to happen at this point. Is Drake May, by the way, the leader in the clubhouse, to be the number 2 overall quarterback taken off the board. But JJ McCarthy to the Minnesota Vikings seems like a foregone conclusion. Plus 105 for him to go there. Another destination, the New England Patriots at a 4-to-1 price. The Commanders at a 5-to-1 price. Is it looking like the tea leaves are just pointing towards the Minnesota Vikings, and that's where he's going to wind up?
Listen, I think anything is possible with this kid. I absolutely think he's going somewhere there, maybe sooner than most people think here, because everything that we've heard about him, Donnie, is the kid is a winner. And in such a quarterback-starved league, anybody, if you are in need of a quarterback, this is exactly the kind of kid, experience, championship qualities, worked his way. This is a kid you're going to want in the locker room, and it's worth a risk, I think, with a first-round pick.
It's interesting to see where he goes, because you can sort of take that whole angle from Michigan and Tom Brady. Tom Brady didn't come into the NFL lighting the world on fire from college football, but it's that mentality, like, I can be a leader of men. I'll command that huddle. I'm a winner here, won a national championship. Trust me with your franchise. I can see that playing out in that direction. We'll see how high JJ McCarthy goes in the draft coming up shortly.